But this is not a case where the ministry prepares a bill, it comes before the house, voting takes place mechanically, and the bill is passed. My lord, we were eradicating the menace which was noticed as back as in the year 1923, 102 years back.
Yes.
Lord, please, my lord, your lordships have before your lordships, my lord, petitions filed by individuals, mostly, my lord, 99% in a public interest litigation and not by any affected individual. And that would, my lord, make the difference because your lordships are dealing with an enactment which is passed by the legislature whose competence is not in question. It's nobody's case that the parliament did not have the legislative competence to pass this law, because this is one of the factors which is the possible only factor where stay of a statute is granted or something at that threshold that this legislature had no competence to enact the law. Now, my lord, I will just briefly point out to your lordships, my lord, what was the process, a detailed process which was undertaken, my lord, before the Joint Parliamentary Committee. I'll not read anything, but please, my lord, take my note and please come to page 9. I'm sorry, take my affidavit and come to page 9. My counter, my lord. Lord, counter. But this is not a case where the ministry prepares a bill, it comes before the house, voting takes place mechanically, and the bill is passed. My lord, we were eradicating the menace which was noticed as back as in the year 1923, 102 years back. And therefore, my lord, we were very careful that each and every stakeholder is consulted, each and every voice is heard, and thereafter it goes before the parliament and a full-fledged debate takes place. Lord, please have a look at page 9, Lord, at para 21. Lord, this I would request your lordships to bear in mind, because it is my case that few of the petitioners cannot claim to represent the entire Muslim community. We received 97,000 representations. No, I'm sorry, 97 lakh representations. The Joint Parliamentary Committee had 36 sittings. Please come to page 9, para 21. Apart from the representations received by the Joint Parliamentary Committee, the Ministry of Minority Affairs also received representations. I'm sorry, my lord, my counter. Page 9, para 21.
We have.
I'll be very brief and crisp. Apart from the representations received by the Joint Parliamentary Committee, the Ministry of Minority Affairs also received representations highlighting the need for legislative amendments which include mismanagement of work properties, deliberate encroachment and unlawful transfer of work land, inefficient functioning of work tribunals, sweeping powers to arbitrarily declare property as waqf as per section 40 of the Act, allegations against Waqf Board officials along with general grievances and representation from Ahmadiyya community. This is a schedule, very backward community amongst Muslims. Now, I'm not reading para 23. These are the state governments who were consulted. They came through their representatives. Then, page 11, para 24. 25 Waqf boards were consulted. Consulted means they came, they gave their representations, there were deliberations with the Joint Parliamentary Committee, clause by clause, and Joint Parliamentary Committee records that on this particular clause of bill, A board has this objection, B has this suggestion, C is agreeing, whatever. I'm not giving examples. Now, please see, page 12. We took inputs in personal meetings. We means the JPC with these institutions, 28. I'm not repeating. All India Sunni Jamaat-e-Ulema, Indian Muslim Civil Rights, Uttar Pradesh Sunni Central Waqf Board, etc., etc. Thereafter, a voluminous report was prepared where some suggestions by the stakeholders were accepted, some suggestions were not accepted, and they have given reasons why suggestions are either accepted or not accepted. When suggestions were made to amend some sections, that it is not a part of the bill, please make it a part of the bill. The committee suggested that it should be made a part of the bill. And that bill was presented before the competent legislature and passed with unprecedented debate.